In early 2013, HTC needed to revive their dying phone brand, so they created this, the HTC One. But is it still a great phone in 2016/2017? Hey guys, it's Ryan Thomas here with Failtech, and this is my review of the HTC One M7 a few years later. The screen is a fantastic at the time 4.7 inch 1080p Super LCD panel. The colours are good and very accurate compared to most of its competitors. It gets fairly bright, but the blacks are definitely lacking in depth, which the One's competitor, the Galaxy S4, has with its AMOLED display. Unfortunately, you don't really get to take advantage of the small screen because of the bezels though. The screen definitely looks crispy with a higher PPI, and you can get a lot of clarity and sharpness out of this display. The build quality of the One M7 is just great. This device set the precedent. This device is aged so well with its gorgeous chamfers, clean lines and metal build that screams quality. I can't even find an angle of this phone that doesn't look fantastic. Despite these great looks, however, the 65% screen to body ratio is definitely something to worry about with its larger than I'd like bezels and odd placement of the off-screen buttons. Note that if you double tap the home button, you'll bring up multitasking. Along with those up front are the stereo front-firing speakers and front-facing camera. On the left is the micro SIM tray, on the right is the awkwardly flush-to-body volume rocker, and up the top is the headphone jack and lock button. At the bottom is also an off-center micro B connector, and on the back is the rear-facing camera, the flash, the large HTC logo, and the subjectively awkward-looking Beats audio logo. The antenna lines seem to blend in, but they're definitely there. This was also one of the first mainstream phones to feature this kind of build quality, have a 1080p display, and have stereo front-firing speakers too. Performance is not too bad, but you're only getting a Snapdragon 600 with 2GB of RAM. Games run well, including 2D and 3D titles, everyday apps, and OS use is also smooth and definitely good enough. You're also getting almost 750 on the single core and 1700 multi-core score on Geekbench 4. Now, I say you're only getting the SD600 and 2GB of RAM, but you're actually getting a decent experience with Android 5.0.2, and of course you can install custom ROMs, which is a great idea for these older devices, which can enhance battery life, performance, usability, and even aesthetics of the software. The software experience itself is rather good, with cleaner aesthetics than the comparably old phones. The heavily skinned OS is actually not bad because the aesthetics are good and the experience is smooth enough. Again, you can flash a ROM, but the original isn't too bad, so I wouldn't really do that. The stock launcher is also rather good with the solid app drawer and use of screen real estate. Camera quality is something you're probably going to be giving up with this if you're buying this phone. It's a 4 megapixel sensor with f2 glass, which is definitely laughable. But it means the low light is actually really good. I'm happy to say that the sharpness isn't too bad considering the 4 megapixel sensor, since this is just over QHD size. You're also getting OIS in the 1080p video, and the video isn't bad either. The front facing camera is a 2.1 megapixel affair with the ability to shoot 1080p video too. Overall, the experience isn't amazing, but it's good enough. The detail when zooming isn't great, like I said, but the rear facing camera does get some great low light shots, including video. Battery life is good considering the underwhelming 2300 mAh battery that cannot be removed or upgraded. There have been a couple of days where I will finish the day with 25%, but often it will be about 8 to 10% and sometimes nothing at all. It goes completely dead. I am a fairly heavy user though, but it's usually games that will make the biggest dent in my usage time. The software doesn't make the best use of the 2300 mAh cell, but it does a decent enough job. Now, you may have noticed the Beats audio branding all over the place, and it's because this thing has a fantastic pair of speakers up front, the stereo setup, that doesn't just sit there and look pretty, but gives a decently clear sound. Now, they're a lot clearer than my S7 Edge's bottom firing setup, but they don't do well in low end, which is really weird because Beats and low end are kind of a match made in heaven. I don't understand why the low end is not the best. The amount of money you're going to be paying for one of these bad boys is around £100, and I don't think that it's really too bad of a price to pay for a phone with this great of screen, build quality and speaker setup, albeit you are giving up a little bit of camera quality and obviously that Beats audio branding all over the place. Anyway guys, that's my video. I would recommend this phone. I do like it. It's my favourite old phone that I've reviewed apart from the One M8, so you can see the recurring theme that I do like the HTC One series devices. Thanks for watching guys, and I will see you on Friday. Have a great week, and oh yeah, leave a like if you're new, dislike if you didn't like it, subscribe, whatever. I'll see you guys later. Peace.